Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in Miniatures, and it's time once more for our weekly painting progress. And it's always funny, but after we have that time off, or at least I have that time off, I just use that royal we sometimes, from Thanksgiving, it seems like I don't do anything afterwards. Well, I did. I actually did, and I got a little bit done, not to a great level of quality, but it's done nonetheless, and that's really what matters. So first off, a War Games Atlantic skeleton. How is he keeping that quiver of arrows attached to his hips? Obviously, through some sort of dark magic. There's no straps or anything. I found that really odd. Obviously, some green stuff would probably go a long way. Very simple, very basic. I guess if I really wanted to go old school, what I should have done is gone with a green flocked base with the red bow. Would have been very appropriate. So I got that done. I also painted up a random one-page rules temple guard. I'm not happy with the colors. I think I could have done better. He's on a 32mm base, decent sized. Probably going to go back and play around with him. But that's just me not really satisfied or figuring out exactly how I want to paint most of my lizards. I'm picky like that. Nice sculpt. I want to say, did they make some with hand weapons and shields as well? I'm not sure. All right. In addition to those, the other day we showed off some of Crucible of Games Proserpine Shrine Guard, and I went ahead and started painting some up. And regretfully, I did not bother to blast them with a gloss coat to keep those metallics intact. I mean, they look okay from a distance right now, but I'm kind of happy with these guys, and their style is really growing on me, and I'm really looking forward to the Kickstarter. I'm going to leave a Kickstarter link down below so you guys can get a good look at it. I went with a very basic look. We went with a blue coat, gold armor. It was supposed to be like a line, some kind of energy feed there connecting to his blade. So Corvus of the Crucible of Games had told me the Shrine Guard kind of were like in relation to the cell kits that they had previously put out, kind of like how the Imperial Navy goes along with the Imperial Guard. I don't know. I wanted to kind of match that Egyptian vibe, but not go overtly chaos looking. So, I don't know why the heads, it looks kind of like a skull, but it gives me a bit of a, shoot. I forgot what I was going to say. The Centurions from Battlestar Galactica. The Cylons. I don't know why. It reminds me of a Cylon face. Their close combat guys reminded me of the Black Hole. The Shrine Guard themselves remind me of Cylons. Now, Sparkeltrout had told me I ought to try doing them up in red. So I have a few others that I have already started. Hopefully we'll see some next week that I've been doing up in red. But I thought the blue looked nice and more imperial than red. Red makes me think chaos. And speaking of chaos, that's something that Sparkeltrout painted. What a lovely objective marker. This comes to us from That Evil One. Recently they had a quite successful Kickstarter for a whole slew of Roman-inspired, I guess, guard troops, for lack of a better thought. But anyway, this is like a chaos dude. Crucified, except not to a cross, but a T-bar. We'll set him to the side. And obviously, I know they did like a little diorama of guys doing their nailing them up. This is one of their, I want to say it was a Praetorian. Their little gladius and stuff. And at least the Praetorians, all of them had the little rocket pack jump ships. Jump packs. Cool little guy. I printed some up for myself for the purpose of painting, but I haven't got around to it yet. And then some of you may have already seen this. This is one of the sci-fi versions of Adamant Arsenal's Vile Corrupted soldiers, and he is quite vile. I dig that orange. I know Sparkeltrout was telling me something about he had wanted to go with a orange, kind of like the renders on the Kickstarter page, which I might add, at least as of the time of this filming and being posted, is still going on and going strong, and unlocked a whole pile of extra bits. So if you're into the customization, there is both sci-fi and fantasy. This particular set originally came from the Maker's Cult Patreon, where Adam and Arsenal had been a guest sculptor, but this is actually an add-on on the Kickstarter as well. So I'll put a link down below. You guys definitely should check that out while it's still live. Very good value if you like to just have fun building, customizing, and kit bashing things. All of them are modular. Everything matches everything else. The good guy parts work with the bad guy parts. Fun stuff. So that's mostly what the two of us got done, except for one other little thing. And if you saw the thumbnail, you probably already know what I'm talking about. Let me get everything out of the way. But this big, giant monstrosity. Yes, I actually did paint up the big three-headed mini monster mayhem TriRex, for lack of a better term. Now, I cheated and used mostly contrast, but it's just so freaking big. Surprisingly, I mean, I think it's an 80 mm. No, it's got to be about 100 millimeter base. It just was super time consuming getting this done. I did try to paint it up like the Ixalan three-headed dinosaur, but yeah, I don't know how much pain and suffering both of us experienced in the process of getting him done. I bashed out his teeth there on the far right head. You can see he's got a nice empty palate there. Various feathers, like the one I'm pointing to, have been snapped and ruined. One of them, where was it? Got some puncture marks. Were enough to draw blood from me. That was fun. So somewhere on this model, my blood has powered him up. I tried to do all the heads a little different. I mean, obviously I wanted them to kind of match, but they all have their own little look. And the cool thing about this, obviously, is that with certain sized models, you can totally just load him up with all sorts of stuff. Plus, you know, human models at least are big enough / small enough they could squeeze right underneath him there. And if you guys, I mean, honestly, haven't seen Mini Monster Mayhem's Patreon, I absolutely wholeheartedly recommend. That's like one of my top 5 that I always like to go check out. Even if the theme doesn't necessarily gel with me for the month, there's always something cool going on there. And I know for the month of December, since it's his anniversary, Lee was going to be offering up a whole bunch of extra models that he's already released, like every few days. So definitely worth checking out if you haven't already. And also, I gotta say, because I'm in the midst of printing it all, if you haven't seen Lord of the Prince stuff for the month of December, take a look at what they've got going on too. It's like full Chaos Armies. If you want big giant models, I mean, Mini Monster Mayhem and Lord of the Print, I think, are the two best when it comes to using excessive amounts of resin, with Archvillain up there too. But yeah. As always, in case you aren't aware, we will have links down below where you can take a look at getting any and all of this yourself. Like this big bad boy. This is a cool model too. If you're not aware, he actually had a whole bunch of different versions. You can have him as a regular one-headed T-Rex, the three-headed version, and then you can have him with or without the howdahs on his back as well, which was kind of a cool. This was a really cool release period. Obviously, they are not anatomically factual historical dinosaurs in any way, shape, or form, but I am a-okay with that. I love me some fantasy-looking dinosaurs, and I bet some of you out there do too. Also, as always, if you like the channel and want to help support us, we'll have a link down below to our Patreon where I will hopefully get to spend more time on it once we are out of school, which hopefully is going to be in just a couple of weeks as of me filming this. So I am eagerly looking forward to that, and hopefully I can get some input from you guys as to what big, giant, stupid model I am going to subject myself to next. And take my advice, if you're going to do this, don't glue it together first. Some of those feathers on him were so freaking hard, and I know there's spots that exist that are complete no shows. You'll never see them, and it was just I couldn't even get the brush in there. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend wholeheartedly getting this guy done in chunks. So yeah. With that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.